Hey everyone, this is Adam H. Cole, your couples financial counselor and money and relationships expert. And I help couples like you who love each other to make sure that the money conversation doesn't get in the way. And I do that by helping you draw out your money story through art so that you can heal your inner relationship to money and to your significant other. Today's video is on a topic that is a challenge for many families. And this is what happens when you and your significant other disagree about child-related expenses. And today I'm going to show you the 3 steps to settle these disagreements and move forward in a productive and loving way. So if you stay to the end, you'll know exactly what to do. And I'm going to include a link in the description to a few things, one of which is a gift I know you're going to love, and I'll tell you about it at the end. So let's get right into it. 3 steps to settle disagreements about child-related expenses. Now, if you're like most parents, your children are extremely important to you. You care about yourself, you care about your partner or your spouse, and you care about your children. And it can be really difficult to decide. I mean, we all want what's best for the people we love the most, including our children. So we want to send them to the best schools, we want to give them the best education, we want to buy them all the toys they want and all of those things. And yet also sometimes that isn't necessarily aligned with our financial situation. So what do? And if you're watching, you might be the person who is like, I don't care, I'll do whatever I have to spend, as my kids need everything, all the nicest, all the best. Or you might be the partner who's like, I understand, or like, I get that my partner wants our kids to have the best, but my God, we just can't afford it. It's not practical. You might be either one of those, right? Or something completely different, but either way, these 3 steps will be extremely powerful. So here's step 1. Talk to your partner about what you actually want and why those things matter. This is the first step because you need to cultivate some understanding first. And a lot of times what I see with couples when one person views the other as busting the budget, or the other person or one person views the other as like really restricting them, they can feel resentful, they don't get it, they think their partner's just being a jerk because they're caught up in their emotions. But the reality is your partner probably loves you and you probably love your partner, and you also both probably want what's best for your kids. It's just you might have different paths in mind or different values underlying your beliefs. So this is how we're going to get to the values. You're going to talk about what you want and why it matters, right? So you'll say, I really want to send our kids to private school. Well, why does that matter? Education is so important, and I just saw the difference growing up in the kids who were able to go to private school. They got into better colleges, they got better jobs, and I want to make sure that our kids have a solid future, right? Open up and have that vulnerability to say why it matters. And then you say, I really want to make sure that the kids are able to play sports and recreational activities. Why? Well, because when I was a kid, that was a huge part of my self-esteem development, was going and being on a team and meeting other kids and getting faster and stronger, right? And I want to make sure they have that. And this is a really wonderful way for you to understand your partner better and to understand yourself better and to bring you two closer. So this is really how you can use the money conversations to strengthen your relationship. Now, you've done step 1, you've talked about the things that you would like for your kids, and this is like, even if you don't think they're actually viable financially, or even if you don't think you can afford all of them, you just share them anyway. And then you move on to step 2. This is where you plot out some different potential scenarios. So this is going to require a bit of research in how much things cost that you would like to do for your kids, right? Or how much time they take. And then also figuring out your current financial situation. So understanding your own income, expenses, assets, and debts. And I have another video on my channel on that. You can look for that one. I'll link to it below. But once you understand your current financial situation and the inflows of money and the outflows, then you can play around with some different scenarios. And don't worry about it being perfect, right? But just like, okay, let's say we have an extra $5,000 a month that we can spend reasonably on the kids. Play around with some scenarios. Oh, this thing costs $3,000 a month. This thing costs $400. This thing costs $200. This thing costs $1,000. Combine them all together and just create a few different scenarios. Let's say 3. If you really want to try it a bunch, maybe 5 tops. That's step two. So create these different scenarios. Again, this might take a little bit of research into your own finances or how much time, energy, money those things will take. Now, step three is now that you two understand where each other's coming from and you've actually kind of put some numbers to the ideas and you can see some practical scenarios that are available to you, just have a discussion about comparing them, right? And don't be stuck to like wanting to get your way. Of course, really think about like, well, what would this do for the kids and for us, right? Because, it's not just how much to spend on the kids. If you spend more on them, that might be less to spend on yourselves, right? So this is not just about private school and sports and clothes and food. It's also about you having some time for yourself, you getting that massage or going on that vacation or having some extra money to try and launch a side business. So you want to just plot out different scenarios kind of across the board and have some ideas there, and then just look and compare the pros and cons of each and how it would affect your kids and how it would affect you. And now from this place, you have practical knowledge about what it would actually take to do these different things and what kinds of scenarios are possible. And you understand what you care about and your partner understands what you care about. So now you two are more closely in connection and communication. And now you can make that overall decision from a much healthier, more informed, loving place with each other. So just to recap, step one is to open up and share why you want these things for your kids or for yourselves and like what these things are and why they matter. Step two is do the research and digging into your own finances and into what these different things would cost in terms of time or money so that you can create some scenarios. Like we can afford these four things, but not those two, or we could afford these two, but not those four. And then the final step is now that you two have this shared understanding and this background of knowledge, just compare the pros and cons and see how you can compromise what feels best for everybody involved. So that's it for today's content. I know I said I was going to share something with you, and check the description for a free checklist I've put together with 7 steps to have healthy money conversations. It is called the Essential Money Conversation Checklist. If you do those 7 things, your conversations will make a huge positive difference in your life and your relationship and your family. So click that link, download it below. I'll drop a couple of other links in the comments if you're interested in joining my Money and Marriage Facebook group or working with me directly. I'll include those links below, as well as a link to the video on understanding your own assets, debts, expenses, and income. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for weekly Wednesday videos about money and relationships. And go ahead and share this on social media and let me know in the comments how what I shared in this video, how you can put it into play in your life. Thanks again for watching. And as I said before, this is Adam H. Cole, your couples financial counselor and money and relationships expert. Have a wonderful day.